given a choice, would you see? I understand that VFX is you're working very closely with the director's vision and the team and how they build the set, and then your work comes into play there. But if given a choice, would you just create everything by yourself in the studio, or do you still prefer it to be live action? And then
this is the thing. Filmmaking is a collaborative effort. Has to be. I mean, at the end of the day, we are producing a piece of art for a client. Just like, you know, art is always, unless you're doing something for yourself and you're in essence paying for it and you're doing it for yourself. Art's always a commission job. This is just another art form. It's still a commission job. So you're always working for a client. Case in point, you know, and that client is the director and the producer. So their brief and their vision of how they want something to do, you know, is integral to our creative process. So sometimes they won't know. They'll have an idea. This is the sort of thing that we're looking for. We're looking to create something, you know, case in point, like a 1.5 kilometre high waterfall. All right, give us options. Let us know how you'd build it, how it would look, and so on. So we'd give lots of concepts. When we were down on the shoot down in Kerala, we had some of our matte paint guys and our concept guys down there blasting out concepts. This is, okay, we shoot this angle, this is how it's going to extend up. This is what it's going to look like in the end. Yes, no, don't know. Okay, that angle's not working. So we'd bounce. We'd bounce between myself, Srini, our concept guy and the director, to not only, you know, frame the shot for composition, but also to see whether or not certain elements were going to work, you know, directly above the, you know, the hero's head or to the side and so on. So it was, you know, a very, very much a team effort. As going back to the original question of would prefer to just kind of build everything and go, there you go. Ask any artist that'd love to have complete free reign of something, but you know, obviously that's never the case.
you work closely with Rajamouli, starting with Magadheera and then very extensively in Eega, and now again with Baahubali. So what are the discussions like when you two catch up for a project? What do we talk about?
How many sleepless nights I'm going to get? Pretty much. Nah, it's normally okay. I mean, we've worked with him, like I say, for quite a few years now. So I like to think we are on the same page now. And you know, a while back, after you know finishing this thing, we like to try and anticipate what he's going to go for. And every time he throws me a curveball. Every single time. So I think we've got, okay, he's going to love this. We've busted our chops on this. This is going to look great. There you go. And he's like, yeah, can you kind of, damn. So it happens a lot. We try and anticipate it, and we get it right now. We get it right now compared to what it was previously. You know, especially with this guy. This guy went through so many design changes before we actually settled on that particular style, and you know, I fought him so many times on this, and also during Magadheera development. You know, there was crowd distribution and object distribution within the stadium we were working on, and as an effects artist, I think the first thing I think of is like, you know, okay, I'm building this one big asset that's got everything in place, so you can literally just shoot it from all these different angles, and the continuity is going to work, and you know, it's all going to gel together. It's going to be great. If you think of the filmmaking process, everything is constantly massaged. You know, it's massaged for composition. So people come up and say, "Oh, it's a movie mistake that property here moved from here from one shot and back to here on the next shot." Why is that? Yeah, okay, continuity error, maybe so, or maybe they've just gone from a separate angle and they've repositioned it for composition, and that's purely it. It's just purely for composition of the frame. So I'm building sequences, I'm building shots in Magadheera and also on these other films, and he's saying, right, you know, shift that there, move that there, move that there. Well, why? It's there in the previous shot. It's like, composition's not working. Fill the frame, make it look good. And I fought him for weeks, absolutely weeks on it. And right, fine, okay, fine, I'll do it. And I did it, and he was right. I was wrong. Totally admit that, because he knew the process. I was concentrating purely on logistics, logical, this, that, and the other, and making sure that the continuity was there. So now when we do it, we think, okay, right, let's frame the shot. Let's make sure that the framing's right. Okay, doesn't need to worry too much about, okay, yes, we need to worry about composition, but not so it's going to kill us. As long as that large piece of detail is not intersecting with the heroine's head, so you've not got a massive little branch going, looks like it's jamming out the top of her brain or something. So we framed things neatly for her. If we can't shift her, then we'll shift the prop. Just like you would doing actually physically on set. If a prop's not working in that position, it gets moved. Just as much as we do the same thing here. So every single one will get staged throughout the creative process to make sure that it is, going right. And it's from working with him. We've learned from working closely with him that this is the sort of thing he looks for, and we've also taken that, and when we work with other clients as well, it's a learning experience. It's a creative industry, so you're constantly developing. You learn new skills, you learn new techniques, not only through art and technical methods that we use within the studio, but also within the filmmaking process.
When you meet somebody, let's say a director, on a project, and how does it work? Like, do you first try to understand what he wants, or do people just say,
give me what you want? No. Always, again, because this is, like I said before, not only a collaborative effort, but also, like I say, throughout history, art has always been a paid gig. You're always working for somebody. So in essence, we've got to give the client what he wants, without any shadow of a doubt. That's the key thing. We've got to satisfy the client. The client is, like I say, 9 times out of 10, it's the director and the producer. That other 10% is obviously the audience. We work to that director's vision. We work to that producer's vision, depending on who's got the creative control. So we will always initially sit down with them and say, right, what is it you need? What is it you want? Break down the shots, break down the story, and then bounce creative ideas. Then we work towards that, but also give creative input within there, because that's part of the creative discussion process. If they don't have any idea, sometimes we just get briefs which are, we don't know. Give me something like that. That's kind of cool. Give me something like that. That's a sort of that's the homage to or inspiration therein. So give us something that looks like that and doesn't behave like that, but that's the sort of palette. That's the mood board that we're going for. Here's a selection of stuff that we like. Give us something that's like this, and we need to not only plan for it, but we need to shoot for it, and we need to do the post work for it. So the entire thing needs to work from the get-go, from the initial discussion. So we'll sit, we'll bounce, we'll design, we'll pass storyboards, we'll pass mood boards, we'll pass animatics. So all a full creative process before we even go to shoot. And while on set, we'll do post-visualization and direct painting there on the spot as necessary. Case in point with Baahubali, when we were shooting the city centre, we had live real-time 3D updates, so the director could physically see the composition of the frame. Case in point, there's a shot where Rana's turned to King's Palace and he's gesturing towards it. He's against complete blue screen at the time. He doesn't know where the heck it is. So we give him an eye line, and B, we have on a separate monitor on the spot. We have another cabin out the back which we call the visual effects pit of fun. It was, which has got all the systems in there that we update to frame up the exact shot that it wants to be. So we then do a quick recording of it so that the artist can see exactly what he's looking at and what's in background. That also helps the cinematographer to frame the shot. And when we dealt with Magadheera, they actually placed like large balloons on set, so the DP could actually physically, okay, we know a tower's going to be up there, so we framed for that. For this one, we didn't. For For this one we didn't, purely because of two reasons. Number one, the amount of up-down structures we'd have in this thing was off the scale. And the second thing is some of them were so tall, getting a balloon up that high would be a danger to airplanes, quite possibly, because we're right near the airport. So therefore it wouldn't be physically possible. So we went down the virtual route. So we had on-set live 3D representation mixing with the live footage.